Hi guys, you're welcome to another episode of Mailbox. On this episode of Mailbox, we'll be addressing different mails from different people from all over the world. My name is Adesho, and with me is
Olawale.
Our first question today is from Bulgaria. Elena Petrova, she's 29. She says, my partner and I have been together for 4 years, but we have completely different views on finances. Is love enough to bridge a massive gap in spending habits?
It's such an interesting question because what we have in the subject of love or partnership is dependent on possibly 4 things. 1, you have communication. 2, you have finances. 3, you have background. And number 4, most importantly, they will talk about sex. Now, the truth about the matter is that finances plays a significant role in the life of a relationship because 2 different people were raised by 2 different set of parents, so to speak. And what you find out is that if somebody is not in alignment with what it is that you were raised with, there is bound to be conflicts. So on finances, there are also about 4 pillars. Your issues on savings, your issues on debt, your issues on investments, and the final one, which is, I can't remember now. So there are 4 pillars also on finances. Now you must have the same perspective at the very least. I mean, we found situations whereby some person believe in saving and the other person does not believe in saving, which means that once we make money, let us, yes,
spend
the last
this.
one I was trying to remember is earning. Some people believe that, you might be too greedy, that is greed that makes you want to seek for more. But it's important to have an alignment in what you think and your view about finances. These are serious flashpoints. Somebody might think you're a spendthrift. Why are you spending so much? And you're taking certain decisions. So it's important that you have an alignment with the spending pattern of the other person because it would always raise conflict.
Right.
Especially when you give the person an opinion as to this is what I feel that should be done. If the person doesn't believe in it, and you keep going on, it will actually raise conflict over and over again. And it's not as if both of you are bad people. You're not bad people. But the truth about the matter is that once there is no alignment in your ways and the person's ways, you'd always have conflict.
Yeah. So, I mean, in addition, so the person says, is love enough to bridge a massive gap in spending habits? No, it's not enough because they're pretty much 2 different things. There's money, there's love. So those habits, if you end up not adjusting, you might have to maybe start resenting that person on the long run because there's nothing like discipline. You cannot be saying you are not disciplined with funds and at the end of the day you expect a good result. So if, in fact, on the grand scheme of things, falling in love with somebody over and over again has to do with a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
So I mean, you need to understand that you have to be serious with spending, with savings, and your attention to details as far as money is concerned. So you should deal it differently. Don't just say because somebody's in love with me, then you now be irresponsible with funds. So ensure that there's a pattern, that is clearly communicated as far as funds is concerned. That'll take us to our second meal of today. The second meal is from Canada. It's from Marcus Thorn. He's 34. Marcus says, I want to quit my stable corporate job to start a handmade jewelry line. How do I know when is the right time?
One of the interesting part about transitioning from one point to the other is this. You've got to begin to align what it is that you make on your stable job.
Yeah, I was about to say
with
that.
what it is that you are going to get into. The sustainability of a consistent what's it called now, salary is like, so the first thing you have to secure is that am I able to actually pay myself that same salary, or at the very least, even if it's something close. If it's not something close, and people will say to themselves, I will owe myself money. It's not sustainable. It's going to be a mess at the end of the day. So one of the first things you secure, and how you know that you're getting ready, for that to happen, once you're able to put structures in place. Number two, once you're able to pay yourself at least something close to what it is. Otherwise, you're going to, stress the business, and it might not be sustainable in the long run.
Yeah.
So the first thing to look out for is that, am I able to pay myself that much salary, from what it is that I have? Otherwise, you would actually, probably go back to paid employment again.
Right. So I think it's quite important for us to note that when you are in a paid job, like probably a 9 to 5, and you have something another financial, like a source of income, I think it's not just an ideal thing to leave one for the other if they're actually not affecting each other. Because a lot of mistake we make is that you feel once you abandon one, you have attention for the other. But it's also important for you to know that some are not commercially viable.
Right.
Meaning, maybe your 9 to 5 is sure as far as whatever you spend on recurrent is concerned. So if you discover that you really can't juggle things, if you leave that 9 to 5, it's better you hold it.
Right.
Because the one you're holding and you're sure of is better than the other one that you're not. In fact, in business, you must understand that sometimes at the beginning, you have to take from A to B, take from B to A. Right. But just ensure that you maintain a balance. It's important that you strike a balance in that line of business. Now, as time goes on, if you discover that you're okay enough financially to leave that other one, or probably you don't have so much of time to. If not, I really don't even think you should leave any for any if they are not affecting each other. There's nothing wrong with having multiple streams of income, but just ensure that they are not conflicting, and whatever you've signed is not against each other. Pretty much, that will be all for the response on Marcus's mail. Now, this will take us to the last mail of today's episode. That's from Kwame Mensah. He's 38 from Ghana. He says, I feel like I've hit a plateau in my 30s. Everything is fine, but I feel no joy. Is this a midlife crisis?
It's quite interesting, for him to have asked that question, because midlife actually starts with 50, so to speak, to start with. So when he says somebody's having a midlife crisis, it starts with 50. The second conversation is that you might not be listening to your spirit man in terms of what the transition should be. Now, you're correct. Everything might be fine, but it looks like nothing exciting is happening. And when you start to feel that way, it's not to try and do adventure or do something else. There is a call to something greater than yourself.
Right.
And it must be a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, something which is higher than the mundane. And when I say the mundane, clothes, shoes, material things. In fact, one of the things that you get when you start to feel that type of way, that nothing is exciting you again, it's a call to serve humanity.
Right.
It's a call to do something that will help other people other than yourself or people within your circle. And so it means that there are things on the inside of you that should be given, that you should be giving to people. So you find out that a lot of people, when they get to this kind of place, they will have to go to, say, for instance, motherless babies homes, orphanage, and all of those things. And then when they begin to serve in that space, you see that sense of purpose returns, a sense of excitement returns. And it's really more and about, serving people rather than you just internalizing the conversation.
Right.
I don't think you have a midlife crisis. It's just a call to something higher.
Yeah. So there's a part of the scripture that says the joy of the Lord is my strength. So the implication, the guy says, I feel no joy. So it means that probably you've actually been placing your joy on things, because see, you can only be disappointed when you appoint people or when you appoint things. And what you don't have, you can't give. So it starts from you. You see that joy that you don't feel. Start being the producer of that joy. And how do you start being the producer of the joy? Begin to engage yourself in things that genuinely and truly makes you happy. Stop paying so much attention to how people feel or what people feel about what you do. Genuinely understand what it means to be living. Because as 30, it's just about the beginning of life, where you have to give so much joy. I mean, you have to radiate so much joy, because the truth is there's an adage in my culture, which is the Western side, that says is a child that lifts up the hand that a father, a mother, whoever would pick up. It means that if you don't give joy, you can't get joy. So you must be a producer of joy. See that you enjoy. Don't even, you see, the attention that we put on forcing ourselves in doing things that does not even benefit us is too much. We begin to run a race that nobody's even pursuing us. The people that you are even using as yardstick, they're just showing you like a fluke of the real thing.
Right.
So it's important that take every day, one day at a time. Find joy in whatever thing you're doing. Anything that is not giving you peace, I would advise you, just drop it. And pretty much prayer is quite important, because sometimes you just feel light all through the day because you've committed your activity into the hand of the greater one. Right. So I would admonish you, tap into that, and God will bless you. Pretty much that'll be response to your own mail. That will be all for this episode of Mailbox. Till next time, my name is Adesio.
And I'm Alawali.